All right, Happy New Year, everyone. Getting ready to trade in 2021. Is anyone else nervous about the fact that 2021 might just look at 2020 and say, hold my beer? I mean, I don't know what to expect. It's been a great trading year, though, but otherwise, it's been a bizarre year for sure. Showing you the SPY here and closed pretty strong, pretty close to all-time highs. So let me go into what I'm watching for tomorrow, and several of these are just Bitcoin related, and that's because let's see, I'm making this video on Sunday, January 3rd, at almost 1:30 in the afternoon. Bitcoin's trading at 32,735, and actually almost hit 35,000. I want to say earlier today or yesterday. So it's very, very strong. So we're going to be watching. Unfortunately, though, what happens when Bitcoin makes these big moves on holidays and weekends, is then all the Bitcoin related or allegedly Bitcoin related stocks are going to gap up, and then they become, much less tradable as far as different than if Bitcoin were to rip while the market was open, I guess is the way I'm trying to word it. So the first, let's see, well, not that, I don't have them really in order. So there will be some Bitcoin related stocks on this list. How about that? So I want to watch EBON, EBON, had biggest volume ever on, let's see, on Thursday. I got to make sure I get my days right because the market was closed on Friday. So Thursday was the last trading day of the year, and it topped out at 660. I fully expect it to gap up over that depending on where Bitcoin is when the opening bell rings tomorrow. But so that's one I want to watch. FUBO, not Bitcoin related, but had this huge move and has basically round tripped this entire huge move. Biggest volume ever on Thursday. It is down. If you always kind of take where it closed and then draw a line straight to the left. It's definitely got spent 3 weeks maybe in this area, so it's definitely at some support here. It's also, it looks like it's sitting right around the 50-day. Looking at a different chart, I don't have the 50-day on this chart, but so certainly overdue for a bounce. I'll only trade it if I get an A+ intraday bounce play setup like we teach in our course. So we'll see, right? But we'll be there watching it. Whoops, I typed in the same symbol. Snow, another potential bounce play. I don't know, 4 weeks ago maybe, this was over 420. Now it's sitting at 281. It's not really at any support or anything, but it's just really beaten up. I mean, you've got, I want to say maybe 6 red days in a row from 360 down to the 280 area. So again, just like FUBO, it goes on bounce watch, and we'll see if we get a proper intraday setup. I would make the same case for QS. I like it a little more because now it's come down, 4 days in a row and kind of took out the recent highs, but to the downside. So in other words, everyone who bought the break of this high, which was somewhere around 87.50, which happened here, a lot of people buy breaks of recent highs, which would have been right here. Now it's come and taken out all those stops. We also have the 20-day down below, pretty close to $80. So probably of the bounce plays on my list, probably my favorite one. Mara, M-A-R-A, is a Bitcoin play, so pretty good setup. Went down to the middle of that buy zone that we look for on Thursday, and now probably going to have a nice gap up due to Bitcoin. So we'll see. Another Bitcoin play, EQOS, has been really, really strong lately. So that's it. And then I think I've still got a couple more actually. NXTD had been really strong. Possible get Bitcoin play on Monday, and then I think the last Bitcoin play, CAN, which we did trade through 6, actually through 590, right about there on Thursday, and we got a decent little move to 630. I made a few bucks on it, but I like the chart here for a Bitcoin play on Monday. GP, electric bus maker out of the UK, I believe. I love this chart setup. You've got a recent, let's go back. All-time highs, 32.50. Then, a few weeks after that, I put in a lower high at 30.29. And then a few days later, a lower high again of 29.92. And then Friday's high, 29.45. So I would say, if I had to give a number, I like it over 29.50, right? Which is basically a break of Thursday's high. I think I said Friday's high. I meant to say Thursday's high. A break of Thursday's high. And then you've got Wednesday's high, which was 29.92, and the whole number 30, and then again 30.29. So you definitely have stat catalyst with a potential target up here of the most recent high. which was nicely over 32. So it's a handsome looking chart. It is a little bit extended, but I like the way it's holding up. And then I don't have a very long list going into Monday. New Year's always kind of, you look for a reset. You look for things that I've seen some weird action at the beginning of the year, right? So we want to be careful and approach it probably maybe with smaller size until we watch the first couple days of the year unfold. But I also like XL, which we had on Bounce Watch coming into Thursday, right? So it looked like this, and we did get the bounce. There were a couple intraday calls. I think, I want to say Wayne called it over 23 here, and it went to over 24, and then Wayne called it again over 24 here, which I love that call. It went pretty quickly to 24.80. That was I think my last trade of the year, and I had a nice little gain on that one. But anyway, it did close fairly strong after a bounce, closed above its open, so that one goes on long watch. But you know, we're going to find some gappers in the pre-market to add to this list. So there'll be plenty to trade, and I'm looking forward to another great year. 2020 was actually the best trading year I ever had, so let's do that again in 2021. I'll see you all in the chat room.